Does my I can't hear myself, of course, but I assume I am speaking. I assume I can be heard, but no one will play with me, and it makes me sad. So I'm going to develop a wrestling persona out of this, out of my anguish and misery, and I will come back, and I will seek vengeance on all those who have shunned me. Except for the two of you watching now. You guys are awesome and you rock. Even though you apparently aren't watching this on the chat and can't chat with me. Uh the part of SmackDown that I watched was Charlotte and Asuka, and I it seems to be that for both Royal Rumble winners, the direction for their title matches of mutual respect and facing someone who respects them and just says, well, I am the best, I am the champion, I shall beat you. And while that is certainly a story, it's not very exciting. Just like Militia's going to take one. Turns out, not very exciting. Um, did not get to watch the MMC, which I will catch later on. But I will say that the relationship with Charlotte and I was about to call him Rick Rude, Bobby Rude. It's very, very interesting to me. And what I would actually like to see is some of these couples, once the MMC is over, some of these people, remain in some storylines on WWE television. And I think that Bobby Roode and Charlotte is just perfect. You know, the implications of them being a real life couple aside, it kind of makes sense. It will make even more sense if in kayfabe, if Mr. Rude were using Charlotte because she is a Flair and to get closer to her father and things of that nature. Um, that would be interesting to see. Sometimes those old cliche tropes just work, which is something I see people are not really about. Some people don't really like the Alexa Bliss Nia Jax story. Alexa did she was not very nice. Yesterday she made fun of Asuka, and the fact that Asuka English is her second language, and it's not the easiest to understand her. She made fun of Nia Jax, her personal image, her body, and I feel like it's okay as long as this means that the face wins in the end. That's what matters. And hopefully it will. And I'm not going to speak so much about it because that's what the real show is for. I had hoped. You know what? I've been hearing that 205 Live is emerging, and hopefully everyone is they're watching 205 Live like they should be instead of listening to this, and they can listen to me ramble on and have a practice run later. Um, I'm trying to think specifically of SmackDown. I recall thinking during the Jinder Mahal Bobby Roode match that it's like a perfectly fine bowl of plain oatmeal, which is also what this show is. It's not, I don't think I've been offensive, but entertaining. That's a key element that you need, and certainly there are other things that are working behind the scenes here, but this is not the Queen's Court. I shall not air out all the problems that I am going through, but I will promise to you two people that are still watching, you are still watching after 10 minutes of this. God bless you. Unless YouTube is lying to me and they just want to make me feel better. So this doesn't say zero people watching. Um, I'm just going to, I haven't checked Twitter, so I'll just check and see what people are talking about after the show. On my timeline, I already see TED Wrestling, which for those who don't know, very popular GIF account. I already saw them. Oh, and Taryn, who's a uh, big Liv Morgan stan. She's awesome. She's she's tweeting about Mrs. Rude confronting Charlotte. I'm just gonna hit that like on that one because we are petty. We're petty people. I really hope the audio is doing well for you people who listen later, or for the two of you. Oh, you are still what? God bless you. I had this scheduled for an hour, but uh, I'm having issues with the charger for my laptop. And silly me, I was actually somewhere where I could have gotten the charger yesterday, but it was still working yesterday. So I was like, you know what? I'll see what I can find online. I'm ready to leave the store. Silly me. That's what life is. All of a sudden, just when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. You should have bought that charger yesterday, and now you don't have one. I don't know how to finish that. Um, so I chose not to talk about Raw. I think Raw is going to be pretty pretty much well discussed on the real show. But I see that what they're doing now with Carmella seems to be the opposite of what they've done with me and the Money in the Bank challengers. It seems like when the guys, especially recently, especially with the last few guys, they really weren't booked very strong. I guess so. When they win, it would, be like come out of nowhere. I guess, I suppose. I'm assuming. But now it seems like they're doing the opposite with Carmella. She's being booked very strong, and I don't think they've built Oscar up to lose to Carmella in a cash in. But crazier things have happened. Um, I'm trying to keep it to just this show, but I'm gonna have to tell you, it's all laid back and it's not really hype because the show I'm really hype about. I want to save all of that for the real show. And the reason why I'm trying to talk at length is because, I just want to make sure I don't get to talking and then something happens bad. So I'm probably going to end up deleting this show. I think I am. But it's a good thing it's not a real show. Uh, To move away from SmackDown a bit, I've been watching Mustafa Ali's promos and how he ties his WWE career into his former career as a police officer. Is very interesting. Um, there's a lot of people in his community and my community as well. We don't view the police in a favorable light. I know some people will find that hard to believe. Oh my goodness, chicky, 4 people watching. Okay, so certain communities with people of color don't view the police favorably. Blah 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 blah. Favorably. I'm from Mississippi, so I try to speak correctly, but I'll on certain words, the sippy is going to come out. But we don't tend to think of the coppers as our friends or allies, and I think it's commendable for him to tie that he used to be a police officer into his current persona and where he is trying. Uh, don't know. See, there are certain things that they're just not going to give us at WrestleMania, and I accept that. I expect swerves here and there, but like it should be the place where all the good guys win. It should be, but WrestleMania 32 is it's still fresh in my mind, particularly because I live blogged the show. And I had to sit there and it was not an enjoyable experience because most of the bad people won. And it took a very long time and The Rock pretty much held us hostage for an incredibly long amount of time. I don't ever want to go through that again. Last year was fine, but see, I think about last year, and then it flashed in my head how WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Florida ended. So that was all cute and all, Undertaker taking off his gloves and his hat and his jacket, leaves him in the middle of the ring, symbolizing, well, time to hit the old dusty trail, go home and stay there. But oh no, you know, at this point, I don't. There's no thinking that this match with Cena will actually be the Undertaker's last match. I'm fully like he's never. They're never actually going to be like, "Hey, Mark, come piss in this cup." So as long as he's able to get up and get into the ring, I'm thinking we're going to see it, and it's. I'm so disappointed in every fan who wants to see this match, who chants one more match. I'm so disappointed. And it's not it's something that I'm just talking shit about the Undertaker to be cool. There are people who are the Undertaker's peers who thought he was so beaten up they thought he was going to retire in the year 2000. So it's 2018. and he's going to be, it's like he's not going to be in, he's going to be in pain probably the whole time. And it's like Cena spots. Like, just think how hard, like, the spots that Cena loves to do, like the shoulder tackles into the like whirly bird, you can't see me. He's doing that to Undertaker. Undertaker is like, just imagine the first time Undertaker bumps for the shoulder tackle, he has to like try to quickly get up and bump for another shoulder tackle and then get up again to get the whirly bird thing. And it's just like, so are we just, we're not gonna do that spot, right? We're just gonna do something. And then like, how many attitude adjustments is that hip gonna, like, so is the Undertaker just gonna do like the STF on him? And even so, like, eh, I like, I don't know. I feel like next year somehow they're gonna be like, okay, now you gotta face Braun. And then the year after that, okay, well now you gotta face fuck Alistair Black. Okay, well now you gotta face, you know, until like, the only way we're not getting an Undertaker match is if he is literally a dead man. And it's kind of crazy. He hasn't looked great in any match that I've seen him in since the CM Punk match. Um, a match which I don't even watch in, because I know there are a lot of people who love Roman who don't like CM Punk. Well, I am not one of those people, and people should have a mind of their own. CM Punk with the whole make Roman look strong, that was not the whole point of that. It was about how he didn't like how the company was, the direction that the company was taking. There's so many yes men, and there's so many people who felt like that they had a position, they have positions of authority when they're probably just like a writer or a road agent, but they walk around like they're self-important shits, and I have to go tell Punk, I have to go. He's like, I fucking know it. And he's like, you know what would make the motherfucker look strong? If you let him beat me. So like, it's not, he didn't ever have a problem putting over Roman or making him look strong or anything like that. It's just, it just happened to be like, there are very few people that WWE cared about making strong at that moment. So like, there's not many more examples of the situation he was in that he could describe it, except Roman. Like, if he is guilty of anything, it's not caring what context his words will be taken in. But like, that's not his job or responsibility to filter his words because someone may take them wrong. It's the responsibility of the listener to understand what the fuck you're listening to. um I think this is I have gotten two people at least to stay, and two more people have joined me. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. However you're watching me, I do appreciate you people. Because this is seriously, once again, just a practice show. You know, my mother, she believes like you can practice for certain things, but until you go out there and actually get that experience, you're never gonna get better at something. So gotta come out here and just try to see if you can go 30 plus by yourself and what you can say. And it's been bumpy, but somehow I said I was going to talk about SmackDown, but we get on my subject, Roman, my favorite subject of Roman Reigns every time. Uh, I guess I can laugh about it because I said on Wednesday night shooting that I would not talk about the Roman Reigns steroid thing, but apparently it wasn't even Roman. It was some fella named Luther Reigns, who I'm vaguely familiar with. I may have seen three or four, a handful of times around the time I really stopped watching WWE. Actually, when I first heard Roman Reigns' name, I was like, I had just heard the name. Like I didn't know who the name was associated with. I was like, oh, I wonder if it has anything to do with that guy Luther Reigns because he sucked. And then I saw Roman, and I was like, oh no, that's obviously a Samoan. So no. um, I'm still going to take the so what if he does steroids. I don't care who does steroids. Uh, there are so many of rock stars and entertainers and like it would. I cannot imagine the hypocrisy of me in my life actually fallen in love and supported a drug addict for a big period of my life, but in my entertainment, no, you better be clean as a whistle. And a lot of these people who get on this Twitter, they know straight up addicts in their life that they've supported, given money to, made excuses for. But you, hey, you who throw ye body to the ground, you must also do this while taking absolutely nothing to help you recover from the injuries or the pain or the emotional trauma that goes with it. None of that. Ye must be perfect, all who perform for me. Uh, um, what else is there to talk about? I'm just trying to stretch it to a solid 30 at the very least. Since you for thank you for people for watching, but obviously you're not doing it on YouTube because I don't see any chat. And if people have been in here chatting, I am so sorry. That's not what my story has told. This has been interesting for anyone who's going to ever listen to this. Know that i- the I am sort of like Patrick from SpongeBob, the inner machinations of my mind. Just know that it's weird in here. Trust me. It's extremely weird in here. And yeah, sometimes in here militia thinks things that shouldn't be said. We all have those moments, but this may be the show where one day those things get said. But not today, people. This has been mildly interesting at best. And I really wish I could have got. Oh, wait. Zed Sled, you're here? Is it because were you watching 205 Live, sir? Because I had to think. I was like, some people do watch that show, but there's nobody else here, Zed. Do you have any questions or any comments? We're waiting on you, Zed. See, I was just about to sign off, and I see you in the chat. You say you're here. Oh, you've only seen the highlights recently. Well, that's fine. Have you seen the highlights of the show tonight? Because I missed the last. When Shane McMahon came out, I was done. Oh, Oliver. Yes, I like that match. That was last week. Watched it, enjoyed it very much. Um, I enjoy the way that the matches are being laid out a lot better on 205 Live. I will say that much. Uh, well, it, it, I really hate. See, this is just a practice show. I got a new microphone because I care about the quality of Wednesday night shooting, and very disappointed. My first show back, my sound didn't sound right. I just decided to do this little show. Uh, the Oh yes, I did get to catch the. I like it was interesting that it started as a brawl. You know, Biggie and Jimmy were very willing to bring it, but then the hammers. It's very interesting the way they're using the hammers. I know you can't just bash them over the head with it, but I thought they were going to chicken out and not ever use them, but they didn't, and I do appreciate that. Personally, I'm hoping for TLC. I think these are the three teams that could put on something that could possibly rival um TLC 2, WrestleMania X7. Of course, I don't think they necessarily need that. I think a regular triple threat because of the no disqualification stipulation. It's just gonna be a wild match anyway. But the possibilities of it with being a TLC match could make it a very historic, iconic moment. Um, uh, I would be remiss. Yeah, I should have said something, but I figured like might want to say this because I'm sure Andrew has thoughts on this as well. Uh, there's going to be two battle royals, or as I prefer, a battle royale with cheese at the WrestleMania this year. Of course, we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and now we have Moolah. And I think it's cute how these people in wrestling, like Alondra Blaze, like want to act clueless. Like, wait a minute, people don't like Moolah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Pulp Fiction. Listen, Pulp Fiction and Casino it will have to be tied as in like my favorite two movies. I would if I had a choice of like the dream movie project, it would be to rewrite Casino from Ginger's perspective. She and I'm not gonna come at Scorsese for this because when there are male protagonists such as in these realms, they really do, what they really love to do is dehumanize women in their lives. They also did this with the movie Blow a lot. So Ginger was one of my favorite characters. But yes, I love Pulp Fiction as well. N- it's not something that's gonna get me enraged. Them naming this battle royale after Mula. It's just like once again, like you prove that you think all your fans are stupid, not just a segment, all of us, because you put this pimp and this woman. I mean, if you have not read up on Mula, please do. Okay, I'm gonna get to the John Cena Taker match in a second, but the whole thing with Mula is that the information is out there. We know it's out there, and they choose to ignore it, and it's very insulting. When there people, a lot of people are saying China, but if you're going to put someone up who hell, China did jack shit for women's wrestling too. The actual battle royal is a very good idea. Get these women a WrestleMania check. But I don't see what was the harm of naming it after Sherry Martel. Who gives a fuck if she died over a drug overdose? Like the warrior died of some very suspicious fucking circumstances right after he got in your Hall of Fame. So anyway, I touched when only two people were listening. I touched up a little bit on John Cena and Undertaker, and yes, I will go a little bit farther. How is that a hot take on China? Please name me the woman who was better after they worked with her. Tell me one woman she put over. She was there to help herself. Her statistics look great. No, not she thought women were beneath her. She thought wrestling other women was beneath her. And it's the truth. It's not. I mean, like it's not even a secret. Stephanie. What do you mean, Stephanie? But going back to Cena and Undertaker, I think next year Taker's gonna face Braun somehow. The year after that is gonna be Aleister Black. They're just gonna keep pulling Taker out till he literally is dead. Um, my feelings on the match is fart on that match. I don't care. I don't care why. Like what and especially because it's Cena, because this is somebody a few months ago he just said, "Oh, it was old dude with a bad hip who can't take it anymore." Oh no, I love China. Don't get me wrong. Look, I'm a Kevin Nash fan, who's one of the most selfish wrestlers out there. It's like, but let's not, just because someone met an untimely death, let's not make them be people they're not. Yeah, I think a thing about AJ Lee, I'm gonna read Claudine Coin part you said. What I say about China is what you think about AJ Lee. Fantastic career, didn't help the other women. She didn't, because she didn't approve. It's not like, see, it's different. I think AJ Lee would have readily. There's some women in NXT who actually came up after she left that I think she would have readily put over. I think. she would have been. She did. She actually put Paige over the first night, even though they kind of walked that back with their subsequent feuds. But I, it was a certain woman she didn't approve of, and when to me, when you call yourself a feminist, I don't think excluding women from some kind of list because their path to get to where you are was different. I don't approve of that. Yeah, China held the she's a multiple intercontinental champion. And what's so funny is that the reason why she worked with those set of guys, if you remember, it was all the little guys from WCW she worked with. That was because nobody else was going to work with her and put her over. And at the same token, she didn't really want to work with other women and put them over. And I'm not saying, boo on China, do what you got to do. Because at the time, like, I can't say it would have been beneficial to her to put these people over. What I'm saying is, then don't say she was like some big pioneer for women's wrestling because she wasn't. She was a pioneer woman in wrestling, but not for women's wrestling. So I would have preferred Sherry Martel. She was what I would like to call the shit. Um I loved her to death. She's an unconventional woman, and it's the unconventional women who are making a mark now, and they could have easily tied it in. And there's no ugly history of pimping and sabotaging. And I said, like trying to lionize Moolah and talk about her in aspects towards a revolution is ridiculous when she's one of the reasons that there needed to be a revolution. She was a terrible wrestler. She a terrible trainer. She helped put out the out there and the ethos in wrestling that women couldn't work. The women that came before her were absolutely fantastic workers. She lowered the standard, and she kept a chokehold on women's wrestling for 20 years. That we certain things we still haven't gotten over in 2018. So it gets deeper than some people just read a Riddick story. Yeah, I think they could have named it after a live person if they didn't do memorial. But yeah, I don't know why they said goodbye. It's I don't really want to complain on this too much because then people would be like, "Oh, you're just mad because Roman wasn't his last match." But like seriously, I was kind of like trying to remain optimistic cuz I'm like Roman ain't in a position and his move set wasn't the type of move set that somebody like in Undertaker's condition should be working. Like honestly, the only person okay, I could see somebody like AJ Styles or Andrade Almas or even Aleister Black. I could see those guys pulling, scratching and clawing to a passable, like even a good to great match out of Taker. But yeah, Undertaker has been stopped having anything to prove. I think, in my opinion, what I would have done, but this is I don't run WWE. But what I would have liked to have seen was him to retire after he beat Triple H at the Hell in a Cell, and every year him come back at WrestleMania to make an appearance. it's just I don't think I may be wrong. People expect an Undertaker match, but like I don't think people really expect it. Like when they buy the tickets in November, especially the year after you broke the streak, I don't think people expected one. And I don't after what you did last year, I think a lot of people were assuming, but like that's a weird relationship. I don't think they would let Cena go out there and cut that promo if it wasn't happening. Unless like Vince really is desperate and he really is trying to bully the Undertaker into this match. I just don't really buy that. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. Um oh yes, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I do hope I don't see that's the thing. Like what if something like any year it could be, oh well, now Undertaker's in a wheelchair, and it's like, do we really need to see that match? Yeah, calling the Undertaker an egomaniac because, well, first of all, Cena, you nor anyone else knows how it feels to go 21 straight matches at the biggest show in wrestling, period, and not lose. And you don't know how it feels to finally lose. And then you don't know how it feels to think you've got your groove back into in so many terms. Last year, The Undertaker showed up and Roman Reigns checked him in the Royal Rumble and was like, "Get your old ass out of my company already." And so what Cena's basically doing is like, "Look, I know you've been humbled and got your ass beat, and you said your goodbyes, but that's just ego talking, not 20 plus years of being one of the best winners ever. Never mind that I've gotten more opportunities and been spread to both brands. Like, am I supposed? I think WWE turned John Cena heel and didn't tell anyone. Oh God, I really do. It's funny. He doesn't like this dude is old. Leave him alone. Like you're John Cena. Like just and it's also like if I'm not in a championship match, I have to be in a big marquee match. Or if I can't get a big marquee match, I might as well be a fan. But you're gonna talk about somebody else's ego. Everybody's eligible to join the battle royale with cheese. That's not an option. John Cena would rather be in the audience than to be in the battle royale. Oh God. It to me it seems like somebody who is realizing that they are no longer the man. And so to prove that they still have it, you usually would pick on somebody like younger. But for some reason he's digging up Undertaker out of his grave. And like seriously, because it's Cena, I hope the Undertaker wins. I think John and I think I don't know if it'll be like a WWE event, but it'll be on Total Divas. I don't know if like saying their nuptials in an actual wedding ring, that might be a little bit. I don't know if that's classy enough for Nikki Bella. That would be my whole thing about like to have her real actual wedding in an arena. I don't know. Yeah, I don't mind Taker winning because, like I said, he's gonna be back next year, people. Well, see, it's been fun to all of you people watching, but unfortunately, gotta hit the hay, gotta get up and work tomorrow. It's been very fun. Thank you for contributing, especially since this is just a practice run. But tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time will be myself, Tanya Rogers, and Andrew M. Swift for Wednesday night shooting, where we will cover definitely Raw and NXT and 205 Live in the MMC. Not so sure about SmackDown. So thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.